welcome to the Monday stream. I hope everyone's having an awesome Monday morning. Today is a day off for me, so hopefully we get to chill here for a little bit. Okay. Ooh, I see Cheeto and Ray already. Cheeto and Ray already. The Dabarobics, there you go. Hey Memmius, how's it going? Hold on, folks. Let me just reset my camera. Okay, cool. Alright, folks. Dabarobics? It's time for the morning dabs. Although that could mean different things to different people, but that's okay. Doing good, just making up some breakfast, the usual. Nice. Let me make sure I got everything ready. Ah, here we are. So the kitty cat is hanging out with us today. Behind me? Not sure. Okay, when she comes out, we'll find her. Dabarobics, let's go. 5 on each side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Long week here in Canada. Nice. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Gotta make sure we do that one good, yeah? Long weekend, it's Victoria Day. Nice. Hey Cheeto, yes, there's a kitty in here somewhere. Yep, there she goes. I'm not sure what she's trying to do. Oh, I see. She's trying to get behind the window. Alright, hold on, folks. You have anything to say for yourself, cat? Okay, we did it. We did it. We took care of the Daberinos. We got a temporary kitty on screen, so I think we're off to a good Monday start. Honestly, because because it was the day off, I wasn't really necessarily paying attention to the time. So, whew, I almost overslept today. Alright folks, we do have quite some headlines to catch up. So let's go ahead and start with some of these headlines. This is in the UK, I believe. McDonald's Animal Rights Group says blockade depots, activists say. The animal rights protesters say they're blockading 4 McDonald's distribution centers in the UK to stop deliveries to the fast food chain's 1,300 UK outlets. Animal Rebellion said, wait, Animal Rebellion? Is this like Extinction Rebellion but for animal rights? Cool. We're using trucks and bamboo structures to stop lorries from leaving the depot. The depots in Hemel Hempstead, Basingstoke, Coventry, and Haywood, and Great Manchester. The group is targeting McDonald's for its role in the climate emergency. True. McDonald's UK said it was assessing the impact of the protests on supplies. A spokeswoman said our distribution centers are currently facing disruption. We're assessing the impact on deliveries to our restaurants and to menu items. We apologize to our customers for any disappointments caused. I like this picture. Animal Rebellion spokesman James Austin at a protest in Coventry accused the meat and dairy industry of destroying the planet. Well, they have a part to play. They have a part to play, that's for sure. Mr. Austin told BBC the meat and dairy industry was causing huge amounts of rainforest deforestation, emitting vast quantities of greenhouse gases and killing billions of animals each year. I mean, yeah, true. The only sustainable and realistic way to feed 10 billion people is with a plant-based food system. Organic, free-range, and sustainable animal-based options simply aren't good enough. To a degree, that is true. Animal Rebellion wants McDonald's to commit to becoming fully plant-based by 2025. The group tweeted that it intends to remain at the sites for at least 24 hours and aims to cause significant disruption to McDonald's as the restaurants restock over the weekend. Meat and dairy specifically accounts for about 14.5% of global greenhouse gases emissions according to the UN's Food and Agriculture Organization. Yeah, it's a piece, that's true. A second tweet called on McDonald's to personally engage with the activists at the protest, saying we're waiting for them to come to talk to us or we'll stop their distributions to all 1,300 restaurants all day. West Midlands Police said it was aware of the protests at the depot site in the Canley area of Coventry and there was police presence there. The force said it recognized the right to a peaceful protest but expressed concern over significant disruption to business caused by blocking sole entrance and exit points to the distribution site. Yeah, I mean, okay. We have asked a small group of activists to remain mindful of road users, in particular emergency vehicles, that will continue to maintain an open dialogue with them. Animal Rebellion describes itself as a mass movement that uses nonviolent civil disobedience to bring about a transition to a just and sustainable plant-based food system. Yeah, so, sure. We do need to also take into account that specifically the meat industry, it does have a significant impact. Not to mention heart disease is the biggest killer of humans. Fast food is not good for your heart and health. True. Which is approximately 18% of all transportation, autos, and trains and ships in air. True. Which, again, it is a piece of the puzzle, right? A piece of the many things that we need to do in terms of climate changes. Also, to take into consideration the meat industry. In November, the fast food giant announced plans to introduce a line of plant-based meat alternatives called McPlant in 2021. What? McPlant? What the heck is a McPlant? Okay, before we get into this one, somebody posted this since we were talking about this the other day. Eternally 5 years away. No, batteries are improving under your nose. Under the hood, lithium-ion batteries have gotten better in the last decade. Yep. The skepticism, it's hard to write about battery research around these parts and not hearing certain comments echo before they're even posted. I'll never see the market. Cold fusion is eternally 20 years away, and new battery technology is eternally 5 years away. Yes. That skepticism is understandable when a new battery design promises a revolution, but it risks missing the fact that batteries have gotten better. Lithium-ion batteries have reigned for a while now, that's true, but lithium-ion is a category of batteries that includes a wide variety of technologies, both in terms of batteries in service today and ones that we've previously used. A lot can be done, and a lot has been done to make a better lithium-ion battery. In fact, gains in the amount of energy they can store have been on the order of 5% per year. Nice. But not the US, gotcha. Hey T-Bird, the T-Bird. That means the capacity of our current batteries is over 1.5 what they would be a decade ago. Yeah, so the TLDR of this article, because I think it was very interesting. The TLDR of this article, because we do have quite the amount of articles to go through. It is improving, and I believe that we don't need to continuously lie. Well, not really lie, but like obfuscate the fact that we do have a lot of quite capable technology in terms of moving away from fossil fuels, right? I mean, each and every year it improves just ever so slightly. So, I'm not sure. Yep, I mean, I think that this is a great article. I'll post it in chat. So yeah, there's many ways that we can go away from fossil fuels. Where's that battery article from? Ars Technica, I posted it in chat there. No problem. Climate change. G7 ministers agree that new steps against fossil fuels. Now, whether or not this means anything at the end of the day is yet to be seen. The G7 environment ministers have agreed that they will deliver climate targets in line with limiting the rise in global temperatures to 1.5 degrees Celsius. Again, in my opinion, I think that this is not happening. I don't think we'll meet that goal. I think we've already passed it. And that's far more ambitious than the previous 2 degrees Celsius maximum. Ministers also agreed to stop direct funding of coal-fired power stations in poor nations by the end of 2021. That is key. If this happens, that is key. There's wiggle room in the statement, but the decision will send a clear message to developing banks that still fund coal power in poor countries. There's also an important commitment to safeguarding 30% of land for nature by 2030 to boost wildlife and help soak up carbon emissions. Environment ministers from the UK, the US, Canada, Japan, France, Italy, and Germany took part in the virtual G7 meeting, which is one of a series leading to the leaders gathering in Cornwall in June. The online meeting was led by the UK, and a government source told BBC News were pretty encouraged by the outcomes. Yeah, I mean, we've had pretty encouraging talks for quite some time now. The point being is, what exactly is going to be done? That's really, and what physical, palpable steps are going to be taken. The online meeting was led by the UK, IS. The decision that has been taken are important stepping stone on the road toward vital global climate summit in Glasgow in November, called the COP26. The move to keep their policies in line with the 1.5 degrees Celsius implies much faster action to cut emissions by 2030 rather than by mid-century. I mean, like, yeah, the problem is, like, the longer you take to deal with this, the longer you take to start taking action, the harder it is, right? And the more effort, resources, and time it takes just to catch up. That's the issue with this. Nick Maybe from the climate think tank E3G told BBC News, "This is looking good. It puts the burden on any fossil fuel development now to prove that it's 1.5 degrees Celsius compatible." The ministers are said to have been heavily influenced by a report from the rich nation's energy think tank IEA. The study said that if the world wanted to reach net zero emissions by the middle of the century, then there could be no new coal, oil, or gas development from now on. True. The G7 ministers agreed much more cash was needed to help fast-growing economies such as India and Indonesia to get clean technology. Yeah, true. All of these nations that don't necessarily have the ability to go green. We need to figure out ways to get those resources to them so that they can go green. This decision will be pushed towards the G7 forward at the G7 finance ministers meeting on June 4th. The communique issued by the ministers at the end of the meeting said we will phase out new direct government support for carbon-intensive international fossil fuel energy. This is expected to mean coal and oil. But there's no date for the enactment of the policy, with Japan arguing against strong strictures against coal. Okay. Yikes. The UK hopes Japan will bend further on this by the Glasgow conference in November. Another statement in the communique. We commit to take concrete steps towards an absolute end to new direct government support for unabated international thermal coal power generation by the end of 2021. So, if this is true, and we move towards essentially not funding any type of new coal, oil, or fossil fuel plants or energy, it is a step forward. It's one of the many things that need to happen. The UK Environment Secretary George Eustace told the news conference that the G7 would work towards ending unregulated fishing and strive to improve marine biodiversity in international waters. The U.S. Special Climate Envoy, John Kerry, said the meeting showed a unique sense of urgency and unity. He said that the G7 had understood the need to make sure some groups of people aren't left behind by the coming low-carbon revolution. The ministers agreed that the world should move towards zero-emission vehicles. The G7 were joined by India, Australia, South Africa, South Korea, who have guest status at the meeting. The elephant not in the room was China. The UK's tactic is not to blame the world's biggest carbon emitter, but to lay down a challenge. One UK source said, "It's a question of us saying this is what we're doing to protect the planet. What are you going to do to protect yourselves and the planet?" UK sources were keen on emphasizing that with President Biden as US leader, Western democracies had now retaken the charge of the international agenda. Okay. The G7 nations need to prove that they have policies to back their intentions. The UK government told BBC News it supported the IEA report, but wouldn't be revoking recent North Sea drilling licenses. This is what I was talking about, right? Like, there's a huge difference between having all of these meetings and saying all of these things and reiterating the fact that you understand the severity of the issue. Clearly you do. And yet, nothing. And yet, nothing. And yet, nothing. Ministers have also declined to halt the proposed Cumbria coal mine, and they're pushing ahead with 27 billion road programs and the HS2 rail project. Both of it will increase emissions. Yeah, so yeah, you know, it's kind of the issue, right? If we tell everybody that we're doing all these wonderful things and that we understand what is going on here, and that we're going to do everything possible to make sure that we reach our goal of, at this point, at this point, 1.5 degrees Celsius would probably not be able to, but they'll set the goal at 1.5, that this is what we're going to do, this is what we need to do. And in the same, also be approving new coal mines and give out new drilling licenses, something of which the Biden administration also was doing as well, if I remember. Body of missing Spaniard found in dinosaur statue? Oh, wait, what? On the right? What? A most rat. Yeah, I could see why this might be a little bit intriguing. Oh man, these people are so funny. These people are so funny. Get a job! Get a job! Get a job! Bro. I have a job. Do you? Because you keep making these alternate accounts. Maybe that's a little bit. Oh, well, let's not be mean, folks. Maybe it's projection. Maybe this person is going through some really, really rough times, where they feel the need to continuously create different profiles, and the only thing that they're able to say is what they're experiencing themselves. Maybe they're the ones sitting at home, not really moving anywhere, just sitting at home creating different accounts to troll people, whilst not having a job, yelling at perceived lefties to get a job themselves, even though I have one. But okay. Yeah, it's probably projection. That's one of, yes, what was it, Memmius? Gaslight, obstruct, project. How's it going? Spread it forward. Get a job! And even if this was, like, wait a minute, so even if this was my job, I still wouldn't be doing a job, right? Like, so that comment doesn't even make sense. That comment doesn't even make sense. So even if this was my, like, primary job, and, like, this is how I made a living, strange phrasing, right? Making a living. But even if this was my full-time job, that would still be a job. So, like, the I don't know. It just seems like, you know. It just seems like someone who is got nothing better to do. Hey, Alio, how's it going? Oh, okay, so I see. It seems like what the eye-catching headline was that they found some dude in a paper mache figure. Yikes. The police said that the man has been reported missing and no foul play suspected. How did he get there? Oh, he was trying to retrieve a mobile phone. He dropped inside the statue and then fell in it and was trapped upside down. Yikes. Okay, so this was probably a unfortunate accident. Okay. A Trojan horse that went wrong. Hey, Wing. Yeah, of course. So yes, this is what happened. Alright, so let's turn our attention really quick here. Belarus is facing global fury after plane carrying opposition journalist is forced to land. While it sounded like an extraordinary Hollywood plot, it's not. The reality of this apparent act of air piracy is chilling. Yeah. Yeah. Piracy, hijacking, and state terrorism, the condemnation of Belarus was swift and strong after it forced the landing of a commercial airplane carrying an opposition journalist. Yikes. In a show of unified fury, the US, Britain, and European Union, NATO, and the UN on Monday lined up to call out actions in the skies above Eastern European country led by Alexander Lukashenko, often referred to as Europe's last dictator. Yeah, this is the same guy that magically won his elections too, right? We strongly condemn the Lukashenko regime's brazen and shocking act. Secretary of State Antony Blinken said on Sunday, using an alternative spelling for Lukashenko and noting that American passengers were aboard the flight. We demand an international investigation and are coordinating with our partners on the next step. The US stands with the people of Belarus. The EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen tweeted Sunday that this is outrageous and illegal behavior of the regime in Belarus will have consequences. Yikes. And if you guys go to our Discord, there is another report. There's another report that a Lufthansa flight was prevented from taking off from Minsk in Belarus due to a reported quote-unquote bomb threat. So things are getting a little bit spicy over there. Not good. Not good. Former president of the European Council, Donald Tusk, labeled the incident an act of state terrorism. The chorus of international ire follows the forced landing in Minsk, in the Belarusian capital, of a Ryanair flight on Sunday carrying a key opposition blogger, Roman Protasevich. I'm not even going to pretend I know how to pronounce these names. Protasevich was detained on arrival. The commercial Ryanair passenger plane was traveling from Greece to Lithuania when a Soviet-era MiG-29 fighter jet was nearby, and Belarusian authorities flagged what turned out to be a false bomb alert to force the aircraft to land. Yikes. Oh, so this is the same pretense that they're using to stop this one from going. I don't know if that's a hot take. I think that should just be done as a security measure, because what the heck? What the heck is going on over here? Protasevich, 26, works for the Poland-based online news service Nexta and is wanted in Belarus for broadcasting mass protests against Lukashenko last year via the Telegram Messenger app. Yes. The grave crime of reporting. The grave crime of reporting. According to passengers on the jet who spoke to Reuters, Protasevich held his head in his hands and looked sad and scared on landing. Yeah, I would too. Jesus. He also appeared to pass his laptop and mobile phone to a female companion, while authorities were later talking to Protasevich in custody on arrival in Minsk. Minsk? It's unclear what charges or jail terms Protasevich could face, but Belarus remains among a handful of countries in Europe to administer the death penalty. The death penalty? I don't know about that one. The death penalty for the crime of reporting? Yikes. The death penalty for the crime of reporting. Yikes. While it sounds like an extraordinary Hollywood plot, it's not. The reality of this apparent act of air piracy is chilling. True. Struther said the European Union and the rest of the world must react without delay in calling Protasevich's immediate release. Michael O'Leary, the chief executive of Ryanair, which operated the flight, called the incident state-sponsored hijacking or state-sponsored piracy on Irish News Talk Radio. Effectively, yes. During unrest in Belarus last August following Lukashenko's re-election, the president's allegedly landslide win has been widely criticized, and then candidate Joe Biden said the people of Belarus are facing systemic repression and living under an authoritarian regime. Lukashenko denies electoral fraud. True. Yeah, this guy won. This guy won in the same way Vladimir Putin wins his elections. The EU has already imposed 3 rounds of sanctions on Belarus in response to last year's contested presidential election. Some European politicians are now calling for tougher next steps, among them suspension of EU airlines flying over Belarus and a ban on Belarusian airlines from landing at EU airports. But the EU will also have to tread carefully to avoid pushing Lukashenko into even closer ties with its key ally, Russia. I mean, I don't need... So far, the Russian President Vladimir Putin has not commented, but the editor-in-chief of state-controlled Russia Today tweeted that Lukashenko had performed beautifully. What? Was this... Wait. Was this tweet written by, like, the same people that... Was this tweet written by Donald Trump? Lukashenko... I mean, come on. That... Can everybody hear that in Donald Trump's voice? Lukashenko performed beautifully. Alright, that's enough memes. Kremlin spokesman Dmitry Peskov told reporters on Monday that he would not comment on the incident. A Latvian airline, Air Baltic, had become the first on Monday to announce it would no longer fly over Belarusian airspace. Yeah, I probably wouldn't either. I probably wouldn't either. I probably wouldn't either. Anytime there's a attack on a journalist in this degree, it should always be condemned, okay? It should always be condemned. And here we have, as I pointed out earlier, and here we have, as I pointed out earlier, another flight that was prevented from taking off due to a reported bomb threat, which was the pretense as to why the other one was forced to land. Did the plane get shot down? No. It seems like the Belarusian president ordered a plane to land to arrest a opposition journalist, and now this was at this point just about an hour ago, another flight was prevented from taking off due to the same pretense of a reported bomb threat. Hey Memo, how's it going? Yeah, I believe if it would have been shot down, I think we would be reading a myriad of different headlines. Whew. Ooh, yikes. I mean, it's not good, but still not what I was expecting. Yeah, I mean, no, it's not good, because the whole premise of it was to arrest an opposition journalist, right? This is like effectively kind of like what the you know, what happened to Julian Assange, essentially, right? We're not in a position to cast stones. I'm glad you mentioned Assange. Yeah, like, that's what I'm saying. Wherever it happens, it must be condemned, right? Like, journalists and people who are doing investigative reporting, if it turns out that what they're saying is true, that is their job. Their job is to do investigative reporting, right? You don't jail these people. Does it go into detail how they landed the plane? It was basically hijacked, kind of. Essentially, it was intercepted. It was intercepted by a fighter jet. Right, only if they investigate other people. Right. And I mean, this was a clear. There's no like. There's no really other. There's really nothing else you can infer from this other than this dude covered protest, and the authoritarian guy Lukashenko didn't like it and is now trying to arrest him, or actually did arrest him. Like, I don't understand. You do realize there was other people from other nations in this civilian flight, right? I mean, this was whew, this is already bad, but it could have. This is already bad, but the fact that there's other, you know, passengers from other countries is not good. And the fact that you're grounding flights, more civilian flights, is also disturbing. Alright folks, I wanted to go over this during the Saturday Catterday streams, but we kind of ended up playing some video games, but I kind of just want to go over this really quickly. Correction officers working at jail where Jeffrey Epstein was held when he died strike deal will cooperate with IG review. Internal what? I don't know what IG is. The two Bureau of Prison guards who were on duty. Inspector General, thank you. At the Metropolitan, that's the oversight body. Gotcha. The two Bureau of Prison guards that were on duty at the Metropolitan Correctional Center when Jeffrey Epstein died, allegedly by suicide, have entered into agreements with Manhattan prosecutors that could end the criminal case against them if they cooperate with an ongoing investigation of Justice Inspector General review. In November 2019, the guards Tova Noel and Michael Thomas had pleaded not guilty to conspiracy and filing false records in connection with their actions the night Jeffrey Epstein died in prison. They will now provide truthful information related to their employment by the Bureau of Prison, including about the events and circumstances described in the indictment. Yeah, so effectively what's happening here is, well, they weren't entirely truthful as to what happened that night, and there are, it's alleged that their records and what they said was falsified, so that might change should they retract and begin to cooperate with the investigators. So I thought that was an interesting update to the case, as this is, you know, this is still ongoing, folks. You know, this is still ongoing. Ooh, this is still ongoing, and we might find, I mean, it could just be like something as simple. It could be something as simple as, well, they didn't want to get in trouble, so they like falsified records to attempt to cover their own butts. So it could be just as simple as that, right? But I do find it interesting that they are going to cooperate with this Inspector General, you know, investigation. New York City's chief medical examiner had ruled Epstein's 2019 death by suicide by hanging, though a formal medical examiner hired by Epstein's legal team has disagreed with that conclusion. The multimillionaire was awaiting trial in federal charges accusing him of operating a sex trafficking ring from 2002 to 2005 at his Manhattan mansion in Palm Beach Estate, and allegedly paying girls as young as 14 for sex. He had pleaded not guilty. Night of Epstein's death, the guards repeatedly failed to complete the required counts of prisoners under watch in the specialized housing unit where he was being held, according to the initial indictments. Yeah, I mean, like, it could just be as simple as they falsified, like, their, you know, their reports just to make them look like they did their job to try to, like, save themselves. So, you know, it could just be as simple as that, right? Without trying to be too conspiratorial, right? How much you want to bet what the guards did was routine? Yeah, maybe. I is a weird word for English, I'm just now realizing. Yeah. Yeah, maybe. Just to avoid doing the job, or just to say they did the things that they did. It seems more foreign the more I look at it. Yeah, I don't know. Hi, hello, howdy. I would not be surprised, Memo, for the record. Like, usually when it comes to these type of things, Arkham's Razor, right? The most simplest explanation is probably what happened. And the most simplest explanation is these guys were supposed to do their job, they didn't, something bad happened, and they falsified records. Nephew was by Trump and Barr. Well, I don't know. That is an allegedly. But these nonsense are just a smokescreen. They were chosen because they were lazy. I mean, I don't know. It's possible. I guess without any. I mean, there's no evidence against, but there's no evidence for it. So it's possible. I guess like what we would need is wait to I guess what we would need is to wait for the internal Inspector General, and this case is still ongoing. We have another medical examiner hired by his own legal team are disputing it. I don't know. Yeah, well, I mean, there's a lot of people who would benefit. There's a lot of people who would benefit, you know, from his mysterious disappearance or alleged, you know, suicide. So yeah, we'll see what ends up being in this thing. And remember, we still have Ghislaine Maxwell. Yes, Andrew. All right. We also have Ghislaine Maxwell, and I'm sure we'll get another piece of the story. So I mean, it's just a matter of time before they kind of put all this together. The question is whether or not we'll get the full story, but well, it wouldn't surprise me that Trump at the very least knew. If you want to be like, you know, at the very least, Trump did know. Wasn't there a quote where he was like, "Oh yeah, you know, I know this guy likes, you know, likes women, and sometimes he likes them a little on the young side, but you know, he's a cool dude or whatever." Was the quote? You know, I'm obviously exaggerating like the words, but the quote was similar, right? That he thought that Epstein was a cool dude. However, he, you know, he's a fun dude. He likes to party. He likes women. Some on the younger side. But anyways, yeah, though that was that's him. He's cool. And Trump hired Bob Acosta as cabinet dude. Served. Oh yeah. Well, I mean, it wouldn't be surprising, right? It would. It would not be surprising. I mean, didn't Trump also have multiple allegations of a sexual assault too? I mean, it wouldn't be surprising. But the more we find out, the more we'll get. You know, especially from Ghislaine Maxwell. I'm sure we can piece more of the story, right? It just wouldn't surprise me. Multiple, that's right. So yeah, interesting development. We'll see what happens and whether or not these guards, whether or not these guards are just simply incompetent or something else. Ghislaine. Gotcha. Folks. I have to, I guess I have to issue a public apology to the GOP. There was, we found them after rigorous searches. We found them. Guys. 27 cases. We found them. I was wrong. There was... It was... We got it. We found the things. Did you see the conspiracy that Maxwell was a Redditor? A very prominent one at that. There was a Redditor account that Maxwell had in her name and stopped making posts after she was arrested. Very suspicious indeed. Maybe. Is it GIF or GIF? It's always GIF. This is 100%. I mean, look, at this point, at this point, it wouldn't surprise me that some of these things run very deep. I would just say, like, let's wait to see what they can get out of her. It just wouldn't surprise me if these things were, ended up, like, being proven, you know? It just wouldn't surprise me. Yeah, there was also where that case, the guy killed his wife so he could still vote and vote for Trump. Yes. There was also the guy who used his dead mother to vote for Trump. Yeah, there's a few. But yeah, no, we found them. Because you know how there was a huge allegations of voter fraud. We found them in Wisconsin specifically. I remember Trump complaining about Wisconsin. But we found them, folks. We got them. 27. Wisconsin election officials have identified over just 24 potential cases of potential, not even proven. So, oh my goodness. Potential voter fraud in the November presidential election and forward them to local district attorneys for possible prosecution based on documents obtained Friday by the AP. A search of online records show that there's no charges yet have been filed against any of these 27 people, so future cases of potential fraud could always be forwarded to prosecutors. I would like to point out that in order for any remnants of this to be even possible, for it to be changed, it would need another 19,583 or 73 more votes. 19,508 and 73 more votes to be able to overturn the results of Wisconsin. This is not out of the norm when it comes to elections. None of this is particularly newsworthy. I just wanted to bring this up so that for the umpteenth time, nothing you do, no matter how many times you want to recount the votes, there will never be enough to overturn the results. What happened happened. There was no widespread conspiracy to commit widespread election fraud or voter fraud. And this is no different than any other election where you catch, you know, a handful of these guys attempting to commit voter fraud, and you will be found. This is just to prove. This is just to prove that if you try to commit voter fraud, you will be found. Even if it takes, you know, a little bit of time, you will be caught. There will be consequences if you try to do voter fraud, right? They identified potential cases of voter fraud. To date, just a tiny fraction of the nearly 3.3 million who voted are in line with the suspected voter misconduct in past elections in the battleground state. Yeah, so in other words, yeah, I mean, in any other timeline, this wouldn't be newsworthy, right? In any other timeline, this wouldn't be newsworthy. This is exactly in line with other elections, right? I mean, out of the 3.3 million, you get, what, 27? Wow. Amazing. Will this be enough to convince the election deniers? No, probably not. Probably not, but it needs to be continuously said. They're far below unsubstantiated. They're also far below unsubstantiated accusations made by the former president and his supporters of widespread fraud and abuse in the election won by more than 20,600 votes by President Biden in the state. Trump attempted to toss out more than 221,000 legally cast votes in Wisconsin, losing in multiple state and federal courts. Yeah, I mean, there's literally no case for this. Wisconsin Republican lawmakers are pushing more than a dozen bills this year that would make it more difficult to vote absentee in Wisconsin. The measures are making their way through the legislation, and any that pass are expected to be vetoed by Tony Evers. The bills are part of a national push by Republicans to change voting laws following Trump's defeat in November and his bogus claims that there is widespread fraud and abuse. Yeah, so, like, I mean, again, the entire premise of a lot of these voter integrity laws is exactly that. It's to supposedly protect the integrity of the election. Except that was never a problem. Okay? That was made up. It didn't, like, there was no out of ordinary situations in the 2020 election. There was never anything that was any kind of red flag to indicate that, wait a minute, hold on, there's something wrong. There was never anything to indicate that there was something wrong with the integrity of our elections. It was just another normal election. That's it. That's what happened. The problem is, some people just didn't like the results. I mean, that's it. That's it. Because if you really want to talk about election integrity, election security, or whatever premise you want to, you know, do your laws under, you would kind of have to point out the problem, right? You would kind of have to point out the problem, I imagine, right? You would say, hey, we had a massive issue in such and such county. We had a massive issue in the state of X, Y, or Z. This is why we need these things. But that never happened. That never happened. Time after time, evidence after evidence continues to prove that in reality, this was just another election. Okay? This was just another election. That's literally what happened. The difference is, what made this election unique, really, was the participation. That was the unique part of this election, right? Was the level of participation hasn't been seen in almost 100 years or something like that. This level of participation was not seen in a very long time. That was it. That was it. Hey, Justin, how's it going? Please go give them a follow. So yeah, I mean, You can continue to recount till the cows come home. The reality is... Hey Jesse, how's it going? The reality is there was nothing out of the ordinary. Nothing that we haven't seen before. So effectively, you are creating solutions to problems that don't exist. Which then begs the question, why? Republicans in Wisconsin have also ordered an audit of the election, which is expected to take months, and the Assembly Elections Committee has approved launching its own investigation. Sure, you can investigate this till the cows come home. Lawmakers say they received thousands of complaints of irregularities, but the records obtained by AP show just a handful that were identified by election officials charged with making sure voting laws are followed. So, yeah. Okay. So, this is the game that they were playing, right? A lot of these lawmakers say, well, people keep sending me a bunch of stuff saying that there was a lot of complaints of irregularities. Well, are they valid complaints? Do the people submitting said complaints know what exactly was going on? What was wrong? Which law was violated? So, in reality, this turned out to be just a handful. The AP received every case identified by local clerks that were forwarded to the Wisconsin Election Commission as required by state law. The records detail cases where election officials noted an irregularity that may have been illegal and flagged it for the prosecutors to investigate. Yeah, so again, this is also, as I pointed out earlier, proof that we have a system in place to catch people that do choose to try to test it out. You will be found and you will be prosecuted. So, I mean, we have fail-safes to... we already have fail-safes to ensure the best possible outcomes in terms of election, in terms of election integrity and security, right? We have already systems in place to handle this. So again, it begs the question, why are there a myriad of laws going state to state to state under the guise of election integrity? Things to ask yourselves. More than half of the total cases, 16 out of 27, were people in the city of La Crosse, whose registered address was a UPS store. State law requires voters to be registered at their residential address. The clerk sent out those voters a letter giving them 30 days to register at a residential address for future elections. Yeah, so it gets even less. Okay, so here we're even seeing less and less of actual actual voter fraud. 16 of those were simply just a bad address. That doesn't mean the ballot was invalid. It just means that their address was done incorrectly. The process was incorrect. Of the 11 other cases, 4 people voted both in person and absentee, which there is the problems. That's a problem. One was a convicted felon. Ooh. One was an absentee ballot returned by the son of the same person who requested it and who voted in person. Okay, that's another problem. And 3 people voted in 2 places. 1 person returned 2 absentee ballots, and 1 person who had been adjudicated incompetent and wasn't allowed to cast a ballot. So yeah, so in reality, this was the actual issues, right? People trying to vote twice, people trying to vote when they're not supposed to, people voting for other people, sure. But that ended up being 11 cases out of the 27. Okay? So, even then, out of those 27, 11 of them were actually of concern in terms of criminality. Voter, fraud. And this kind of also debunks the idea that there is issues with absentee ballots, and there's issues with people trying to vote for other people. Not really. Not really. Because if you try to do these things, if you try to circumvent the system and try to vote by mail and then show up voting by person, you will be caught. You will be caught. It's impossible to know who's identified, who those identified for, since ballots are secret. Voters do not register by political party in Wisconsin, so it's not known if they were Republican or Democrat. Yeah, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. They could have all been for Donald Trump. It's irrelevant. How are you supposed to make up a deficit of 19,573 votes? How are you supposed to make a deficit of 19,573 votes? So, it's irrelevant. They could have all been for Joe Biden. It doesn't matter. The Wisconsin Election Commissions will be conducting audits for voting by felons and cross-state voting as soon as the data becomes available, said the agency spokesperson Reed Magny. Those numbers will be reported later this year. The last report issued in the spring of 2019 election when turnout was 1.2 million, almost half, less than half. Yikes. Less than half just found 15 cases of suspected fraud. The latest numbers are in line with past elections, and I would also like to point out that not only were these numbers in line with past elections, look at the difference between people who participated then and now. 1.2 million versus 3.3, and there was still the same amount of of alleged suspected fraud, individual cases, right? Where people try to be slick. So you double the number of people voting, and yet you have the same amount of suspected cases. It didn't, like, it's the idea that there's some wild electoral fraud is just not true. Just not true. Nowhere near, nowhere in any study or audit or recount has shown anything. If anything, it keeps proving that actually, like, if you want to take it into perspective, the same amount of suspected fraud for double the amount of people voting, dang, that actually means our system is pretty good. It's pretty good. Nope. Alright, folks. I find this one interesting. Yeah, 15 cases the last time. 15 cases the last time. And we've had roughly about we've had roughly about the same number, give or take, with twice the amount of people voting. More than twice the amount of people voting. None of this makes any sense. Okay? None of this narrative that there was some type of widespread fraud. It's just not true. It's just not true. It didn't happen. It just didn't happen.
The pandemic is ending, and you want to...
So, for those of you that don't know, you should all follow Nomiki Const. They do fantastic shows on YouTube, and they're on Twitch, by the way. They're on Twitch. I may or may not be a moderator on that channel. So come hang out. 3 p.m. Eastern time. Come hang out. But I found this clip funny.
Keep everybody angry at COVID and the assault on freedom because you have to wear masks. God forbid you have to keep your community safe.
My friend, Nomiki Const, was a host of the Nomiki Show, was on Fox News where she battled host Will Kane over Big Pharma and vaccines. I want to play a clip of their discussion for you here.
I think it's like this.
$5.6 billion in revenue to Big Pharma so far through the COVID-19 vaccine. I've read your Twitter feed. I've seen a lot of your comments, Namiki. You've been pretty aggressive. You've said that conservatives or anyone else who has questions about the vaccine are anti-vaxxers. You pointed Joe Rogan, I believe, once and called him an anti-vaxxer. Is it wrong to have questions about the motivations of this vaccine? Is it wrong right now to remain skeptical of Big Pharma?
No. Wait, that's... Wait. First of all, what kind of question is that? Wait. First, what kind of question is that? Like, what motivation? Like, what are you talking about? The motivation is, well, number one... Yeah. The motivation would be obviously money, but also to provide a vaccine for COVID. And should we be skeptical of Big Pharma? Yeah, to a degree, but we also can't like deny results and studies and data, right? I mean, what? And how are these teams like basically trying to paint the picture as there's like some nefarious ulterior motive behind the development of the vaccine, therefore trying to attempt to cast skepticism. That's the goal for this person here.
You're skeptical of Big Pharma, just like Katie Porter was skeptical of Big Pharma just yesterday, who's a representative from California, a Democrat, and just like Bernie Sanders has put forward 3 pieces of legislation to rein in on Big Pharma and the fact that they're focused on profits. Listen, AbbVie, this is a pharmaceutical company, spent $1.6 billion in 5 years on research and development, yet
that's right,
$50 billion went to shareholders, $13 billion went to stock buybacks during that 5-year period. Their priorities are absolutely in the wrong place.
Smarmiest talking head.
That's up the point. I'm sorry, Namiki, but the question isn't why I have grown skepticism towards Big Pharma. The question is why those on the left, like yourself, have become such blind followers of Big Pharma.
Wait.
Why is it if you have questions? Well, Namiki, you've been calling anyone that would question.
Wait. That's no. I believe you would call that a straw man.
In Big Pharma, when it comes to the COVID-19 vaccine, an anti-vaxxer. When did you place your trust so blindly in people that stand to make $5.6 billion from this vaccine?
These are not the same things.
Intelligence is being able to hold 2 thoughts in your head at the same time and be able to consider. Big Pharma makes a lot of money, and they're not spending enough money on research and development, which is where their priority should be.
But they should be trusted blindly on this issue.
Other pharmaceuticals are stronger.
No, science.
The science is out about the vaccines. The vaccines work. Should there be a booster? I'm no scientist, but neither is Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan should not act like a scientist. Joe Rogan should not be telling people not to wear masks,
here's the
take
truth.
the vaccine.
Here's the truth.
What I'm concerned about.
We're about to get some truth bombs out of this guy. Hit me up.
I'm concerned you are a big vaccine booster now, not because you believe the science backs it up, but because the vaccine has come to represent a political ideal, a political signifier.
Wait. So I'm not taking the vaccine because I don't trust the science, or I'm skeptical of Big Pharma or anything like that, because I criticize, for example, I don't know, Big Pharma, the Sackler family for I criticize the Sackler family for their role in the opioid crisis. No, I'm taking the vaccine because I am making because of politics. Because of politics? What? Yeah, exactly, Carpenter. Wait, what?
I think you did it because you thought it was a win over Republicans. That's all.
Wait. Because you thought... Wait, how does this affect anybody? So if I decide to get... Like, okay, so today's goal... and why I took the day off is because I'm trying to get the first jab, right? That's my goal for today. And I'm not doing that to own the conservatives. Like, this is only the logic that they use, right? This is the only time this comes up is when they use it to own the libs, right? don't use a mask to own the libs because of my freedom. Right? They only think in this manner because they're the ones that have this thought in their head. That's what he's thinking about. He's like, well, you know, I do stuff here all the time to own the libs, so that's exactly what they must be doing. Like, what? No. You don't take the vaccine because you want to own the conservatives. You take the vaccine because you want to stay safe yourself, and you want to stay safe and you want to protect others around you. The first thing is when you take a vaccine is, of course, you become immune effectively, 90 plus, 95, 96%. You yourself become immune. If you're one of those rare cases where you get it, it's just essentially nothing. And there is an over 90% efficacy in reducing transmission as well. That's why you get the vaccine. You don't get it to own the conservatives. You don't wear a mask to own the conservatives. Jesus Christ. Since when did basic reality become owning the conservatives? Seems like Fox is suddenly concerned with profits that don't match a progress society. Oh yeah, that's also a very good point.
Nothing more, nothing deeper.
No, the Republicans want to keep their base. See, what's happening right now is you guys want to prolong. The pandemic is ending, and you want to keep everybody angry at COVID and the assault on freedom because you have to wear masks. God forbid you have to keep your community safe and your grandmother safe. You want to keep that going because it's been working.
I gotta run, Mickey.
Oh no! Whoa! Anyways, guys, it's time for a break. Anywho, it's time for a break. We gotta let you go. Click, just hang up. Oh man. So I want to point out exactly what happened here in this clip. What Nomiki did effectively was flip the narrative that what Nomiki did was flip the narrative that it's actually the left who wants to keep this pandemic going, who wants to keep lockdowns in perpetuity, who wants to permanently make you wear a mask or make you do this, and flip it on its head and say, wait, no, actually, you guys are the ones who want to keep this going because you guys benefit from it politically. You guys have something to be scared about, right? Something to fearmonger about, right? She actually took that and flipped it on its head, which is nice. I did not think about that, actually. Yeah, she took the narrative that it's actually the left who's been trying to keep this pandemic going because they just want to keep you inside and they just want to take away your freedoms because they are asking you to wear a piece of cloth over your mouth, or that they're asking you to take a vaccine, which has already been proven time and time again so far to be fine. And it's actually the other way around. It's actually them who want to continue to perpetuate this, because then they can fearmonger about this. Yeah, nice.
All right, good job, Nomiki. Look,
No
I probably even said her
Miki.
name wrong in the beginning of this.
You say it like Sam Cedar.
It's Nomiki.
Yes.
I think that's the first time I heard No Mickey, but hilarious. Anyways, obviously here I'm biased, but I thought Nomiki did a fantastic job really dissecting the problem here. Like this quote from Will Kane is amazing projection. I'm concerned you're a big vaccine booster now, not because you believe the science backs it up, but because the vaccine has come to represent a political ideal.
Okay, hold on.
Who's pushed that idea? Conservatives have pushed that idea, not the left. The left, nobody on the left is saying I don't know even how you would intertwine getting vaccinated with your politics. It's this whole, especially if you know any anti-vaxxers, which I do, they're not the one I know is not conservative, and many are yoga kombucha kind of people. And
whoa, David, kombucha tastes good, okay? I'm gonna have to push back on that. Kombucha tastes good, all right? Let's not poo-poo over kombucha. It tastes good. Okay. Yeah, should have essential oils and astrology people. True. How's it going, Carpenter Arcade? Welcome. You made a joke because the Fox host pronounced it that way. Oh yeah. But yeah, Sam Cedar pronounces it that way too.
I'm into natural healing. I'm not against that stuff. In fact, I've used some of it myself, but I'm also a believer in science, and I'm a believer in vaccines. And I'm a believer in the obvious data coming out showing where people are vaccinated in the US. As vaccines have increased, cases have come down. It's obvious.
Wow,
Also
amazing.
Israel, same thing. Ton of vaccinations out, cases came down. So
Wow.
I'm a believer in data, in science, but the idea that it's a political position to be pro-vaccine is so completely insane, and obviously here he's projecting. Now, there's also, at the heart of all of this, there's, yes, a healthy skepticism of Big Pharma. So the idea that Big Pharma, making all this money off these vaccines.
Yeah, sure. And also, like, you call out, like, for example, you call out Big Pharma when there's, like, a time to call them out, right? I'll go back to my same example, the Sackler family, right? There's a myriad of evidence to show. In fact, they lost their cases, their court cases. It was shown that they had a hand, if not created directly, the opioid crisis. They manufactured these drugs, these medications, sold them as not addictive substances, pushed them on doctors, and effectively created or had an enormous hand in the opioid crisis. But we know this, and we can criticize Big Pharma in this case because we have the facts behind it. The conservatives will be wishing they had the vaccine when they catch the India variant. Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, I still doubt, like, with the amount of misinformation going on here, Jesse, it's gonna be a struggle.
Yeah, that's a problem. And guess what? If you're angry about that, then you should want to decommodify healthcare. You should want to get capitalism out of healthcare. But of course, a conservative is not going to back that idea. So they're just angry about Big Pharma making money while having no actual critique of the system that led them to make that kind of money off the vaccines. Now, the people that, not conservatives, but the people that have a real skepticism of the healthcare industry, of Big Pharma, and have led that to vaccines, there's an underlying point that they have there in terms of the idea that doctors, overprescribe pills, don't focus enough on health and wellness.
Hey, Heat, how's it going? Morning. How's it going? How's your weekend? I should watch this guy more often.
This
Yeah,
is an
I
issue
honestly,
in the
like,
healthcare industry.
I'll be honest, I don't watch too much of other YouTubers as much anymore. I would say about like over a year or something. I was pretty much religiously watching all of these folks. But as of late, I've just kind of fallen into my own thing, yeah. He's all right. Yeah, I mean this point is great.
But to then extend that to everything, to then extend that to vaccine science, I just there's no connection there. And obviously, look around the world who's vaccinated. It's helped bring the numbers down.
Yeah,
So
obviously.
it's fine to be skeptical of a system that is so based in money, where you have healthcare executives making millions and millions and millions. Of course, yes, be skeptical of that. Want to
He's better than
decommodify
Crackman.
healthcare, get the profit motive completely out of healthcare. That should be a desire of everyone. But you can't extend that skepticism to everything when it comes to healthcare and science. So, in terms of discussing this issue with people that are anti-vax, that are not conservatives, I think that's kind of how you can discuss it. And again, I've discussed in the past, when you're talking with people who don't view things the way you do, you have to go into a conversation like that willing to listen and speak on their level. Don't speak down to anybody that you think is stupid or whatever. Like, you have to be able to speak on their level, be kind, be courteous, and just have a conversation. Don't think you're going to change someone's mind in the moment, because you're not going to. You may plant some seeds though, and that's what you hope will bloom into evolution in terms of ideas and people changing. But in terms of the conservatives on this issue, they have nothing to stand on. They're not against money in healthcare, yet they're against the vaccine. Like, I don't even understand their thought process. But again, it goes back to them connecting it to a political ideal, because that is absolutely not how the left has viewed this issue.
Yeah, I mean, true. Yeah, I believe in the when you discuss things with people one to one, meaning in IRL, not some random person on the internet, because I mean, it's hard to tell who's really acting in good faith or who's really not. There's a lot of trolls, a lot of people who just come to meme on you. So in terms of like the internet, I understand, but like when you talk to people like for real, one-on-one, or in a more personal like DM, like, okay, this is a private conversation, that's different, right? You need to take depending on how they come at you, you need to figure out where they are, how they got there, and then hopefully kind of make them question their worldview, right? You don't tell them this is what you need to do. You don't tell them just all the time that they're just wrong, right? You're just wrong and talk down to them. No, I mess around here online because a lot of people are trolls. A lot of people are trolls, and sometimes I'm a little bit more heavy-handed with trolls, and it's the internet. You never know. But sometimes if I can kind of key in and you're here to listen or you're here in good faith, cool, I'll engage with you. My husband had a birthday. Nice, congratulations. We ate good food. Yes, now that's the important stuff, right? Eating good food is good. Trolling seems like such a flippin' waste of energy. Change my mind. I won't. Many people like to stir the pot when they really should be smoking the pot. True. True. Yeah, so you kind of have to like meet people where they're at, right? You have to, in other words, you have to like speak their language, especially if they're friends, close friends, or families, people that you can like interact with one-on-one or IRL, or people who are coming at you in good faith, not like trolling or anything like that. Or if people private message you and ask questions, well, that's different, maybe they are willing to be open to changing their mind. And of course, just you saying a couple of things won't change anybody's mind, but the fact that they were open to listening to you is already good enough in terms of like dealing with that. I respect political streamers, but I could never be one. People are annoying. True. AKTS, true. Yeah, so I agree with this. You need to understand where people are coming from, and you need to engage with them accordingly. That's the only way you're gonna get anywhere in terms of like trying to. If your goal is to change people's minds. Now, some people don't have that goal, and that's fine too. Some people just make content to spread their particular idea and just have like prepared content that they throw out into the ether. That's fine too. That's fine too. So, speaking of vaccinations, before we get into this one here. Now, Rand Paul, of course. Rand Paul says he won't get vaccinated because he's already had COVID. Mind you, this guy is the same dude who flaunts his credentials why would anybody... I don't know why Automod would catch that, but okay. Most of my Twitch debates start like, I like blue debate, bro. How dare you say you hate red? And shame on you. What about green? Like, yeah. It gets pretty like downhill very quickly. It's also very hard to tell who is acting in good faith and not. And also it's difficult sometimes to engage people with text, right? Because things get lost, right? You know, you say something and they're like, oh, so you mean, like, no. You know, it's very difficult to engage with people via text, and it's very difficult to engage with people via text on the internet who you don't know whether or not they're serious, as you just mentioned, right? Yeah. Alright, so our friend Rand Paul revealed that he would not be getting the COVID vaccine. The senator from Kentucky says no point in getting vaccinated because he's already had COVID. Which if he if he's read or bothered to understand any of the data, people who've naturally gotten COVID, their antibodies or their immunity are actually limited. It goes away after X amount of months. I forget what the study said, but if I'm correct, natural immunity like this isn't as permanent as getting the immunity from the vaccine. Okay? It's not the same. And this COVID virus doesn't act in the same manner as the rest of them. So the idea that you're just conflating all of these things just shows that A, you never bothered to look into it, and B, worst of all, setting a horrible example. You're setting a horrible example, right? And just making this unnecessarily longer. I find that people on the internet are more likely to run with assumptions when they could easily ask questions to clarify. Yeah, and then when you ask clarifying questions, they get mad. I don't know. It's the internet is not where folks. The internet was a mistake. Okay, except for this channel, of course. Just making that disclaimer. Except for this channel, the internet was a mistake. Okay, so yeah, clearly this person hasn't bothered to at least attempt to get familiar with what's going on here. Until they show me evidence that people who have already had the infection are dying in large numbers or being hospitalized or getting very sick, I just made my own personal decision. That I'm not getting vaccinated because I've already had the disease and I have natural immunity. No. That's not. This is some Joe Rogan level. of thought process here. No, that's not how any of this works. Again, it seems to me like the point that Nomiki brought is true. Is true. I mean, why else do they continue to fight the science at every single inch? I mean, it makes a very, very good it makes it a very good point when Nomiki pointed out that maybe it's you guys that want to prolong this because it benefits you. I mean, at this point, I don't know. I mean, unless we're that divorced far from divorced from reality. I mean, I assume some of them are, but someone like Rand Paul, I don't know. The internet and its consequences have been a disaster for the human race. True, particularly, I'm semi-memeing, but I'm also being very serious about how, like, social media has been, like, a blight on society. That is true. I highly recommend you watch The Social Dilemma. Rand Paul is very entitled. He has access to CDC scientists and some of the best medical professionals in the world, and instead of asking them to answer his questions, he expects them to randomly show up to his house and educate him on why he's wrong about the vaccine and how they work. True. I have natural immunity, Paul said in an interview on Sunday on WABC's radio show The Cats Roundtable. Paul, an ophthalmologist, was the first known senator to be diagnosed with COVID and when he contracted the virus in March of 2020. The senator's stance goes against the CDC's recommendations that those who have already had COVID nonetheless should get vaccinated. According to CDC, he's much dumber than his father. According to CDC, experts are uncertain how long natural immunity lasts. Yeah, hey, wow, amazing. There's also a rare risk of those who have already had COVID could become infected again. He has frequently clashed with Dr. Anthony Fauci, chief medical advisor to President Biden, and touched on topics during his interview on Sunday. We've had round after round. Yeah, because you keep being a dense human being. You keep being a dense human being, okay? Yes, Mamius. Paul added that he believes no one should be forced to be vaccinated. Can somebody point me out the somebody point me out where exactly has the Biden administration ever indicated that people should be forced to be vaccinated? Someone point me out the quote, the policy of where the Biden administration has said we need to force people to be vaccinated, as if there's like some type of, like, you know, secret police that's gonna bust down your door and you know, hold your family at gunpoint as you are struggling a guy in a white lab coat comes in and then jabs you with the vaccine, and then a month later it happens again because you need 2 shots. Okay, this is not what's happening. Nowhere has the Biden administration, nowhere and no one from the Biden administration has said this is the policy that we need to implement, or we are going to implement, to be forcefully vaccinated. In a free country, you would think people would honor the idea that each individual would get to make the medical decision, that it wouldn't be a big brother coming to tell me what I have to do. Cool. Would that be also applying to abortions? Cool. Would that also apply to abortions? Not to derail, but if there's time after the story, I dug up a mildly interesting bit regarding Purdue Pharma. Oh yeah, we went over some of that, Cheeto and Ray, but you can post it. I don't know, that Ron actually seems sensible compared to his rant. I was an uneducated libertarian in high school. Cool. It's a book, an upcoming Amazon series. Check it out. Wait, what did I miss? Oh, the only rand I like is from the Wheel of Time series. Forced vaccination as a red herring. Really, we should be pushing voluntary vaccination as a patriotic duty. Flip the script. Yeah, I think like Biden has been trying to do something like that, but it's very simple. Hey, folks, you have the bodily autonomy to do whatever you want. However, so do everybody else, and you don't have the right to put other people in danger. So, if you don't want to get the vaccine and you don't want to wear masks, cool. You should be staying home and away from society, because if you don't get the vaccine and you don't want to wear masks, then you're not going to be allowed into school. You're not going to be allowed into airplanes. You're not going to be allowed into cruise liners. You're not going to be allowed into public areas. So yeah, you have the freedom to choose. However, your freedom is not at the cost of anybody else's, because I also have the freedom to not be infected with COVID. So you need to take that into consideration too.
There's a certain strain of bacteria called...
Whoa. Oh no, no, oh no, oh no. We can't do this one. But it's funny. What about the state that created the lottery for vaccinated people? Yeah, it's another one. That's another idea. And this was done by the Purdue family, or, well, Purdue Pharma, I should say. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised how they did countless of advertising to attempt to, countless of advertising and astroturfing to sell these products as safe, when in reality that was not the case. Addictive. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's a theme song for anti-vaxxers. Oh, yeah. Drug addiction means using a drug to get high rather than to relieve pain. Wait, that's not what that means. Hold on. Words have meanings, folks. Okay? Oh. This is such BS. Where is it? Here we are. A compulsive chronic physiological or psychological need for a habit-forming substance, behavior, activity having harmful physical or psychological or social effects, typically causing well-defined symptoms, anxiety, irritability, tremors, nausea upon withdrawal, or abstinence instead of being addicted. That's not what this means. You are taking the pain medication for medical purposes. What? The medical purpose is clear and the effects are beneficial, not harmful. True addiction rarely occurs. Wait, what? Wait. True addiction rarely occurs when opiates are being used properly under medical supervision to relieve pain. Your pain gets better. Your doctor can reduce the amount you take. Follow your doctor's orders for taking less medicine, just as you do if the amount is increased. So what you're saying is, it is incredibly addictive because you actually have to go to your doctor to reduce the amount to get you off these opiates. You have to go to your doctor and wean yourself off because that's right, they're addictive. Wait, this doesn't make any sense. What the heck is true addiction, first of all? They give us whole month supply for us to use. Yikes. Yeah, so there is no even supervision, first of all, as you pointed out. Yeah, because each visit is expensive, so we don't have the time to get supervised care. Right, and furthermore, this is an admission that this does actually create some type of physical dependency, because why would your doctor need to wean you off and reduce the amount you take, if not because it's addiction? Hey Rai, how's it going? You develop it and require higher doses to compensate, that's addiction. Right, I mean, we just went over the exact definition. Nice meme. Nice meme. Oh yeah, no, that's why they were caught. That's why they were caught, Spread It Forward. That's why they ended up in the situation that they did. Because of stuff like this, right? Because of stuff like this. Anyways, Rand Paul. Folks, well, actually, but yeah, let's just finish this here. Big brother. Hashtag doctor. Paul's remark comes as vaccine rates appear to be slowing across the country, which is also not good, okay? Like, this is so frustrating. Earlier this month, CBS found that many states weren't ordering all the available COVID vaccines doses allocated to them by the federal government. At this point, I don't think we've even crossed 40% of total vaccination. He's already embarrassed himself twice in front of Fauci. Yeah, he is an embarrassment. Okay, so before we go into the next story, I do have to take a quick break. And a second to show for myself. If you enjoyed the content, folks, make sure you hit that follow button. Make sure you like the stream, share the stream, subscribe to the YouTube's channel. And if you would like to support the channel, because this channel is because of you guys. You guys are what makes this happen. You also have the options of subs, bits, donos, merch, which is pretty cool. So I appreciate all of your support, and you guys are what makes this happen. Thank you guys, all of you. I appreciate you guys, and I will be right back. Just 1 second. Alright, folks, let's see here. We've got this one.
In some trouble once again because she said some absolutely insane comments where she compared mandatory mask policy to the Holocaust. Yes, that's right, the Holocaust. So I think it was inevitable that this kind of rhetoric and things would come out of Marjorie Taylor Greene's mouth, because obviously it's what she believes and who she is. But it appears that now it has come out. So Republican Representative Peter Major, I don't know if that's how you pronounce it or not, he denounced comments made by fellow GOP Representative Marjorie Taylor Greene, who compared the mask policy on the House floor to the Holocaust, calling them beyond reprehensible. Quote, "Any comparisons to the Holocaust, it's beyond reprehensible. This is, I don't even have words to describe how disappointing it is to see this hyperbolic speech that frankly amps up and plays into a lot of the anti-Semitism that we've been seeing in our society today. Vicious attacks on the streets of New York and Los Angeles that should be, and I do condemn that in the strongest terms. There's no excuse for that," he told Dana Bash on CNN State of the Union. Greene, during an appearance on Real America's Voice on Friday, likened the mandatory mask mandate on the House floor to the treatment of Jews during the Holocaust. You know, we can look back at a time in history when people were told to wear a gold star. They were definitely treated like second-class citizens.
Yeah, so we got the article here. This is pretty cringe. This is pretty cringe. This is what it is here. You know, we can look back at a time of history when people were told to wear a gold star and they were definitely treated like second-class citizens, so much that they were put in train. Okay. Yeah, this is the type of abuse that Speaker Pelosi is talking about. Like, what? Mandatory mask mandates are the equivalent of putting gold stars and shipping you to the gas chain. Like, this is beyond rational, sane. This is beyond rationality and sanity at this point. I'd like to also point out this is the same person who has stated before that Jewish space lasers started the California fire. This also was the same person who, what did they say? Something about George Soros, which is the usual trope going around. Yeah. Why do Republicans love Holocaust comparison so much? I don't know. But this is beyond. This is beyond okay. The remarks were part of a crusade among Republicans against House regulations that require all individuals in the chamber to wear masks, despite guidance from CDC that allows people who are fully vaccinated against all COVID to unmask in most settings. However, how many of you are vaccinated? Is Representative Greene vaccinated? Oh yeah, this is it right here. The Georgia lawmaker has made previous comments that have panned as anti-Semitic, including one that claimed the Rothschild banking firm was behind a supposed corporate conspiracy. Yeah. They think they know history by bringing up the Holocaust. Are they even related? In this case, they are. This is just cringe. This is just straight cringe. Right. That was part of the quote, Cheeto. Exactly. And of course, all of them funded by George Soros, or end quote. Which is, oh boy. I don't think we need to take guesses at that, right? They're all for regulating women's right for birth, but not regulating the health of all citizens. Yeah, I know. Yeah, so TLDR cringe. GLDR, this is cringe. This is super cringe. Facebook calls links to depression inconclusive. These researchers disagree. Representative Kathy McMorris Rogers' biggest fear. Conservatives do. Yes, that's right. There's people like Trump there. Mentally exhausted to understand history. True. Representative Kathy McMorris Rogers' biggest fear as a parent isn't gun violence or drunk driving, or anything related to the pandemic. It's social media. I mean, see the social dilemma, and specifically the new sense of brokenness she hears about in children in her district and nationwide. Teen depression and suicide rates have been rising for over a decade, and she sees social apps as a major reason. At a hearing this March on Capitol Hill, the Republican congresswoman from Washington confronted Facebook CEO Mark Zuckerberg, Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey, and Google CEO Sundar Pichai with a list of statistics from 2011. 2018 rates of teen depression increased more than 60% from 2009 to 2015. Emergency admissions for self-harm among 10 to 14-year-olds girls tripled. Yeah, I mean, it's not that hard to kind of understand the outer picture of, like, as social media rises, you start seeing these kind of numbers. It's a battle for their development, it's a battle for mental health, and ultimately a battle for their safety. When she pointed a question specifically to Zuckerberg about whether he acknowledged a connection between children's declining mental health and social media platforms, he demurred. I don't think that the research is conclusive on that, replied Zuckerberg. It's a position that he and his company, which is working on expanding its offerings to even younger children, have held for years, but mental health researchers whom NPR spoke with disagree. They describe an increasingly clear correlation between poor mental health and outcomes and social media use, and they worry that Facebook, which also owns Instagram and WhatsApp, in particular, may be muddying the waters on that connection to protect its public image. Yeah, which, I mean, like, wow, a company lying to protect its public image? Wow. That's unheard of. The correlation evidence shows that there's a link between social media use and depression is pretty definitive at this point, said John Twenge, a psychology professor at San Diego State University. The largest and most well-conducted studies that we have all show that teens who spend more time on social media are more likely to be depressed or unhappy. Or maybe the boomers just need Minecraft the way they can build a wall. They can build their... Yeah, in Minecraft. Correlation is not causation, and one area of further study is whether greater social media usage leads to poor mental health outcomes, or whether those who are depressed and unhappy are drawn to spend more time on social media. That is a good point. But researchers also worry that not enough government funding is going towards objective data to answer these sort of questions. Facebook almost certainly knows more than what has publicly revealed about how its product affects people. Not surprising. We've seen example after example of companies knowing data that they conveniently leave out to either the appropriate authorities or the public themselves. That's right. Yeah, it's a positive feedback loop. Facebook almost certainly knows more than it's publicly revealed about how its product affects people. NPR spoke with Twenge and two other academics whose work has focused on the links between depression and social media use, and who say Facebook's public affairs teams reached out to them for the first time ever in recent months for input on internal information related to the issue. The company declined to comment about the meeting request and its stance on research about its platform, but the outreach comes at a pivotal time for Facebook and its plans for growth. Trump admitted being removed and replaced from social media as 94 million followers, leaving him and his millions of fans from news sites and rallies. Yeah, I don't know. He might. It's quite possible that he might run. It's possible that he might run, which explains the GOP's so the GOP's current willingness to still stand behind him, even though he caused them losses across the board. Losses where they mattered. Government regulation is even closer than before, and the issue of children's mental health is one of the few concerns about big tech that Republicans and Democrats seem to agree on. After it was revealed that Facebook is working on a version of Instagram for children under 13. What? A bipartisan group of 44 attorney generals wrote a letter to Zuckerberg this month with a simple message: stop. Use of social media can be detrimental to the health and well-being of children who are not equipped to navigate the challenges of having a social media account. The letter read further, Facebook has historically failed to protect the welfare of children on its platform. Not only that, they haven't exactly been the best bastion of private information either. Shortly after McMorris Rodgers spoke at the March congressional hearing, Representative Kathy Castor, a Florida Democrat, asked Zuckerberg whether he was familiar with the 2019 study that found the risk of depression in children rises with each hour spent daily on social media. He said he was not. You enjoy an outdated liability shield that incentivizes you to look the other way or take half measures, while you make millions at the expense of our kids, our health, and truth. Yeah, I'm not in the least surprised. Like, if they find objective, definitive proof, and it would not surprise me that Facebook and other social media companies are either A, hiding it, B, obfuscating or just allowing things to happen without them doing research, or they didn't know, which is a classic excuse that we've seen. I mean, it's either or. We've seen multiple companies lie about the data that they have to the public. We've seen multiple companies lie to officials about the data that they've had, and some companies just never bothered to do research on the harms that they have caused. I suspect social media companies are no different. Social media is a tobacco of our century, true. There is definitely something, I guess, a parallel. Although, to be honest, I think that, like, the Purdue Pharma, the case was as close to it as possible, right? And since 2017, those trends have mostly gotten worse. For depression, anxiety, self-harm, those increases have continued. Twenge said, a smartphone became even more pervasive, social media became even more pervasive. F cryptos, yeah, I mean, I would say that, I would not recommend crypto anymore. I would not recommend crypto anymore. Yeah, maybe even worse than Purdue. Yeah, exactly. In 4 years since her book came out, no one from any major social media companies reached out to her until about 3 months ago. Got an email at someone on Facebook said they were putting together an advisory panel. The email came from a lower level employee at the company on behalf of Heather Moore, public affairs executive at Facebook, who helped create the company's oversight board. That panel, which is funded by Facebook, goes through 130 million independent trusts, is made up of 20 prominent experts from around the world. Oh yeah, this is the Facebook Supreme Court. Two other researchers NPR spoke with say they received a similar meeting request. One did not wish to be named in this story. Here we are. I believe they have done the research. They're not being transparent, McMorris told NPR in an interview. They seem to be more concerned about their current business model, and they have become very wealthy under their current business model, but the fact of the matter is we're seeing more and more evidence that their current business model is harming our kids. it's not just harming it's not just harming kids. It's harming everyone, I think, in terms of like mental health. Although it seems to me like, you know, younger folks are more susceptible and things like that. But the point being is, as I was saying earlier, it's usually one or the other. They've done the research and not being transparent, or they simply are looking the other way. As this article alleges, they probably have done the research. They're just not being transparent because then that would be inconvenient for their business model, which wouldn't surprise me in the least. Use my computer to mine values one day 5, next day 400, not sure. Yeah, it's just like, I don't know, it's just... You're gambling with that. Generally, in response to these kind of questions, Facebook has pointed to research indicating that poor mental health outcomes, like depression, stem from how people use the platform, and specifically whether they are active users who post and message people or passive users who mostly consume content. The implication is that people have control whether they feel bad from using the platform, since users have a choice in whether they message their friends, for instance, friends on Instagram, for instance, or whether they choose to scroll endlessly. Yeah, that's not how that works, though. The purpose of social media is to make sure that you are glued to the screen and scrolling endlessly on Twitter or Instagram or Facebook, right? That's the purpose of these platforms, so that your eyeballs are glued to that, to the Facebook or to Instagram. Holy_moly, can you please stop spamming? The company's success is dependent on keeping people engaged and selling advertising based on that engagement. So, yeah, that's kind of how that works. This idea that attempting to shove the responsibility on the, well, effectively, the consumer the consumer, or I guess the person using it, is another common thing we find, right? It's not Facebook's fault that you keep endlessly scrolling. What? You guys are the ones that are making this product. You guys are making it so. Unbelievable. Social media, the new internet. Yeah, like, for mental health purposes, if you are aware of the toll it's taking on you, it's okay to take a day off Facebook. I mean, seriously. Says the man who wants people to stare at their screens every Monday to Thursday. Excuse you, Cheeto and Ray. Excuse you, okay? Do you see me specifically mentioning Twitch? Do you see me specifically mentioning Twitch? No. Do you know why? Because this is the only channel that everybody should be tuning into every Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 11. Every Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Do you see me? Do you see me specifically mentioning Twitch? Yeah, so social media is bad. The reason why, I guess, Twitch, yes, don't forget Saturday Catterday. That's right, folks. Maybe we can add Twitch to the list when they actually have some type of algorithm to boost certain channels, or have like a YouTube like robust algorithm that just feeds you constant live streams to the point where you're just like sitting there for hours. I mean, like, because generally speaking, like Twitch doesn't have these like robust algorithm. They have a algorithm, but it is not as YouTube's algorithm that keeps you like hooked necessarily. You guys are here for a long period of time because you guys are seeing your favorite streamer for a large period of time, because that's just the nature of the nature of the content, right? This is a live show, just like you would watch I don't know, The Walking Dead on Sundays when it used to be on, right? That's why you know, it's a little bit different. Anyways, like and subscribe, share, hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Anyways, forget to follow me on Twitter. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Twitch is recommended. Channel's the only reason here. I'm not gonna lie. Hey, nice. Nice. I didn't even know like that was actually a functioning thing. One time Mike Huckabee was telling Jon Stewart, the country is doomed and there's very little we can do. Jon Stewart, like, what can we do? To which Huckabee replied, buy my book. Nice. Nice, right? But now that we're here, since now that we are here, we might as well follow my channel. Might as well promote it everywhere. Tell everybody, anyone and everyone who will hear, that this is the chillest place to be for news and politics. I got bored of Walking Dead in a few episodes. Then this. Nice. I did it, guys. But yes, no. But unironically, though, these type of social media platforms that keep you constantly scrolling are beginning to become a concern. Not only just because they're consolidating power, money, wealth, which translates to influence, but also the fact that it does have an effect on people's mental health, right? I mean, I noticed that. It just anecdotally, it's true. I noticed that anecdotally. It's true. That's the TLDR. That's the TLDR of this story. Let me see here. Today is Monday. Too long, didn't read. I asked you to please stop spamming. I mean, that was the third time. Yeah, TLDR is the too long, didn't read. Summarize, kind of, it's the equivalent of summarization. To sum up, yeah, don't spam. Yeah, I mentioned it multiple times. Johnny_Smith, thank you for the follow. I didn't see that pop up. Not sure if I missed it. Not sure if if it just went away. I don't know. Either way, thank you for the follow. Alio with the 11 biddies, thank you so much. Oh, hey guys, we figured it out who it was. Alright, cool. So that's an amazing message that I just got. Amazing. Amazing. You know, I love it when I get DMs like this. Eat with the 5 biddies, thank you so much. The last of my bits, aw, thank you. In the words of someone probably famous. Holy underscore moly. Get fucked. I need a discount on buying bits. Wait, there are different ways of getting biddies. I think you can watch ads. I think you can also get discounts for buying more, if I'm correct. Oh, I usually dole them out pretty meagerly, but I was like, I'm gonna give 80 to the rest of my biddies and only had 5. That's, you don't have to do that, but I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Heat. Look at that, you even got a little badge, a little number 2 next to you. Dang, I missed it. Did Holy DM you something? Yes, they did. They did. They did. Nasty messages. Nasty messages. As if, that's gonna, make a difference or something like that. What's up with your shoulders? I don't know. What's up with my shoulders? They're shoulders. I hope, I mean, I hope these are shoulders. They're a little thin, but, you know, they're shoulders. Because I'm the second best. In biddies. In biddies, okay? In biddies. I mean, do you want to go the same way as our friend Holy underscore Moly too? I failed to see the point here. Alright folks, really quickly, because this is something that we do have to talk about. Folks, so I'm gonna preface this with, here, let me show you. Okay, what does it even mean? Holy might have 5 accounts. Maybe. I don't know. They may have like 1 billion of them. Who knows? It's irrelevant to me. Folks, there have been... okay, so let me preface with this, right? The actions that the actions that the Israeli government has taken is to be condemned. The actions of President Netanyahu are to be condemned. Netanyahu himself is currently under investigation for corruption. So I don't think that this person is good. Are you okay? Who the F are you liking? Okay. Are you okay, buddy? Yeah, Juchi Gang is a #1 when it comes to mossing an army of alt accounts. Yeah. It was probably him. It was probably him, to be honest. Anyways, so the point being is, I need to preface this by saying that, obviously, there is a, you know, strong condemnation of some of the actions that have been taking place, in terms of like some of the indiscriminate bombing that has been happening, deeply concerning about the AP office, the destruction of their only COVID facility, half of their only COVID facility. Yes, these are all condemnable actions. And I don't think that anybody reasonable would say these are good things that have been happening, right? In Gaza, Palestine, right? However, and I did mention this before previously in other streams, Memmius or Memo for the record can attest to this. I also said we have to be careful lest doors that we don't want opened or people we don't want to invite start to show up, right? And they answered with, well, you know, that's the problem with trying to criticize, like, you know, when you criticize like the Israeli government or stuff like that, sometimes it you know, it is unfairly conflated with anti-Semitism, and that's true. I am criticizing specifically the actions of the Israeli government, and specifically Netanyahu. Right? Miramu, thank you for the follow. Specifically the actions of Netanyahu and the Israeli government. Hey, listen, Shlemi, quite honestly, you're just spamming. However, that all being said, I hope people understand what I'm talking about, right? I hope people can kind of parse that out. However, there has been a reported wave of anti-Semitism, okay? There has been a reported wave of anti-Semitism, which is what I was afraid of, right? In terms of like, we have to be careful of how we word our criticisms and what we say in terms of like what's been happening, right? It is okay to criticize the government, their actions, the decisions of the Israeli state. It is okay to criticize Benjamin Netanyahu. It is okay to say, hold on, there's some serious, like, you know, stuff going on here. It's bad. But lately, it has, I don't know where, it has been a wave of anti-Semitism, right? You're not late for work? No, today I took the day off to attempt to find an appointment to try to get my first shot. Alright, well, you can come back when you figure out what stop spamming means. I know there's a bigger issue. There's bigger issues going on, like the raising point, but have you been following the extraterrestrial stuff? The stuff regarding UFOs, are you interested in it at all? I mean, like, it is fascinating. You can always post things on the Discord, but I think that it's a temporary bop. They can come back if they stop spamming. They can, you can post that on the Discord. I mean, it's interesting. You can also message me. But no, I have not been following that stuff. Oop. Yeah, so anyways, that being said, okay? That being said, the wave of anti-Semitism attacks are disturbing. Most notably, the ones happening, yeah, in Germany. The one that really kind of moved, really was the more disturbing one, was the one in Germany. I don't know that qualifies as TOS or not, but they were saying really cringy stuff, okay? And there was another attack here in Florida. There was an attack, multiple attacks in New York, across the country, across some of Europe, and that is not okay. And that is not okay. Okay? I've said publicly, and I'll say it again, for the 4th, 5th time, I do not like the actions that the Israeli government has taken. I think there's like human rights issues. I do not like Benjamin Netanyahu. But this wave of anti-Semitism is unacceptable. Okay? If there's and it's serious. And it's serious, okay? I am appalled at what I've seen. There's a button that you can press. It would erase the memory of why Israelis and Palestinians dislike each other. Would you press the button? Meaning, like, if I could Thanos snap peace between everybody, I would press the button for peace all across the world. Yeah, if I could snap peace across the world where everybody would just first and foremost see each other as human beings, okay? You can be a terrible human being but still be human first. Right? You can be a horrifying human being and still be a human being first. Time for a new Israeli government. Don't confuse the general citizens for this conflict. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not going to, conflating religion with a country is hella cringe. Yeah, and I don't, like, it's been an explosion of anti-Semitic attacks. And the one that really got me was the one in Germany. I mean, can we kind of draw up the imagery here in Germany, where crowds of people are saying anti-Semitic stuff? People don't understand nuance. Yeah, that's true. So again, I prefaced it specifically for that reason, right? Right? And I think that it's something to be aware of and something extremely serious. It's not good, okay? It's not good. Thanks for reading that, of course. I just hope people like kind of have that in mind, right? You can be reasonable and understand what's happening here. If there was a drug that was created and nullified any feelings of strong hatred or violence with zero side effects, let's need to decide when to take it. Would you be okay with allies? Or no. I mean, these are wild what ifs. No, because then you have to deploy violence probably to get that to happen. No. I mean, listen, if I was all powerful, omnipotent, and I could just say everybody is gonna chill in this entire planet, everybody's gonna chill, I would press that button, right? It's fine to take drugs as long as you're not lying, as long as you're not trying to get high kappa. True. Anyways, so I hope people understand that, you know, this is serious. This is also not to take away from the plight of the Palestinian people. I hope that doesn't get confused, lost in the sauce. But I'm also concerned outside of that. I mean, here in Florida, New York. I also want to bring that to attention too, right? Just so that we have a clear understanding of how we word things and how we criticize, just so that we don't open or give opportunity for other parties, to all of a sudden start chanting anti-Semitic stuff, so that I won't repeat here, you know? That are extremely violent. Okay? I just want people to understand that. That's right. As long as you don't take a drug, as long as you're not trying to get high. Thanks, Purdue. Thanks. I feel like reason is getting harder and harder to find nowadays. And I want people to think about that, right? I want people to think on that. Reason is getting hard to find nowadays. Alright, folks, let's see if we got, Lee Spanner. Hello. Howdy, howdy. Alright, folks. Let's see if we got any other, What's going on today? No work? No, there's no work. Today, actually, I took the day off. I'm going to, do what I can to attempt to get my first shot, today. I'm hoping I can get access to that. I'm aiming for Pfizer. I'm aiming for Pfizer, so as soon as I get out of here, I will be, I'll be heading over. I believe there's a Walgreens somewhere nearby, my parents' house that was doing walk-ins for vaccines, and they have the Pfizer one. So I think not only am I going to take an opportunity because my parents are vaccinated to hang out with them for a little bit, but also I'm hoping I can get the first shot. I get my second dose in a couple of hours. Good luck. Moderna. This is gonna be like the new, like, maybe this shows my age a little bit, but this is gonna be the is this gonna be the new, like, middle school rapper versus rocker crew? The new rapper versus rocker divides that happened in middle school. Moderna, Pfizer. Sourcing support, how's it going? Pfizer does have better 5G connectivity. Okay, there we go. I think I'm making the right choice. I think I'm making the right choice in choosing Pfizer. I mean, the connectivity is important to me. Also, I heard on the grapevine that you also get the ability, and this is satire, okay? I can't believe I have to say this, but this is satire. And I also can't believe it gives you the ability to have magnetic powers. It also gives you the ability to have magnetic powers. So, I'm excited. I'm excited. I was actually trying to hope I could find... So there's been some viral videos that are fake. They are 100% fake. They're 100% fake, where they tried to imply that when the area that you get the vaccine is magnetized, obviously it was fake. It's from the internet, okay? Just because you see a video on the internet does not mean it's true, okay? They made like a couple of headlines about this, saying that getting the shot does not indeed give you magnetic powers. Sorry. On the bright side, the government will always know your location, Pog. As if we don't have devices that not only both are capable of 5G, but also the government knows your location. It's a new superhero movie. Yeah, I can't wait. See what superpower I might get. I'm hoping I don't get the rough side effects. Me neither. For my second dose, I think what I'm going to do is take like 2 days off. Is take 2 days off from the time I get my second dose, in case I get messed up. You may become bipolar. The first few days is rough though. My brain is taking a while to adjust to the nanobots. Oh, you got nanobots? What? I want it. Wait, which one is that one? Is the Pfizer one with the nanobots, or I want to make sure I get the cool one, right? I want to make sure I get the in-crowd one, right? I upgraded the Pfizer package. Okay. There you go. I need to make sure I get the Pfizer one so that I obtain my updates of nanobots and get the best 5G reception capabilities. I mean, on its surface, does anybody seriously believe that a vaccine does anybody seriously believe that a vaccine would actually give you the ability to the magnetism, I should say? I guess some people might, but any reasonable person? Yeah, okay, I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. Would any reasonable person honestly believe that a vaccine would give you magnetism, would magnetize the area of the vaccine? Oh, you got the J&J, so no superpowers for you? Dang, sorry. By the way, leather daddies are pretty low on the vegan problematic list to answer a question from 3 hours ago. Okay. Okay. Reasonable people are increasingly less common. True. True. I made a tweet about that. Reasonable is getting harder and harder to find. Reason is getting harder and harder to find. Yeah, I was hoping I could find those videos, but they probably took those down. Maybe it's on like TikTok or something. Anyway, folks, I highly recommend you get the vaccine. Just do it, because it protects you, protects your family. Yeah, it's just the right thing to do. You want to end this? You want to stop this, you want to stop this pandemic? You want to get back to as normal as possible? Just do it. Also, if you live in Ohio, you do have the chance of entering $1 million lottery for getting the vaccine. I mean, theoretically, they can inject some highly magnetic fluid, but what the like, yeah, I don't know. Listen, the internet has always been a cesspool, plethora of these type of like meme videos, right? Of these type of like videos where like, oh yeah, well actually, when you do this, like, have you seen those videos like home do-it-yourself tricks, and then like they do some like ridiculous stuff that you're like, wait a minute, does that even work? Yeah, it's kind of like that level. It's like, just because it's on the internet doesn't mean it's true, okay? Yeah, just go to Reason TV, it's in the name. True. True. Yeah. It wouldn't serve any purpose. It's a joke. Well, I don't know if it's a joke, but it's a meme on the internet, and it helps people go viral. People will do anything for virality. I don't know. People will do anything to get tons of views on YouTube. Okay. People will do anything, whether it be fake or real, to get millions of views on YouTube. So yeah, don't believe what you see on the internet, folks. There's really no reason as to not get the vaccine, unless there's some like wild medical condition, in which case talk to your doctor first. How about that? How about you don't listen to the rando guy on the internet over here, and just talk to your doctor if you have any questions. I really want to find that article about the magnets. I don't even know how they faked it. Maybe it was just like, maybe they had magnets under here. Maybe they had magnets under their arm, and they just did it that way. Yeah, sorry I'm sorry for the public service announcement, but yes, it turns out you do actually have to use the brain. You actually do have to use the brain. Do you use 4chan? Yeah, that's where I get all my scientific knowledge. No, 4chan is a cesspool. Do I use 4chan? Not even once. Don't do 4chan, guys. Not even once. Oh, it 100% is. I mean, unless you like it. In which case... Ooh, boy! Unless you like the stuff that goes on there, in which case... Yikes. What's a 4chan? It's not important. It really isn't important. Yeah, I'm sure. Vaccine... Fake. Okay, yeah, here's the article. Oh, it's on TikTok. Here we are. Of course it is. Another theme like to this conspiracy theory has been circulated extensively on social media, the so-called COVID vaccine magnet challenge, which has been debunked by scientists. Yeah, I mean, it's wild that we have to do this, but okay. It's wild that we have to debunk wild claims like this, but I mean, you could think so, but that's just not what happens there. So videos have recently surfaced on social media such as Twitter and TikTok. People put tiny magnets on the arm of someone who has allegedly taken a COVID vaccine injection. Ah, on the arm. So you see, they do that. That's exactly what I thought. They probably put like little magnets here. And that's how they do it. The video of an anonymous masked woman shows a small silver magnet that appears to attach one on the arm when she allegedly got the Pfizer injection, but not on the other unvaccinated arm. An Instagram user, Keep Canada Free, shared the Keep Canada Free. Every time I try to quick browse through 4chan, it ends up with me feeling shit. Yeah, I know. It's these people have absolutely no idea. You may want to know that your entire ideology is completely idiotic. And what is, first of all, A, my ideology, and B, why is it completely idiotic? Like, is this your best? Is there no one else? Is there no one else? Is this the best that you guys can throw at me? Wow. Can you do a 4chan react stream? No, because I don't go on 4chan because of reasons stated above, and because it's against terms of service, generally speaking. Perhaps, oh yeah, hey. Okay, hey guys, check this out. So I am a leftist, a SOCDEM, a fascist. Wow. Wow. I'm all of these or none of these? I'm so lost. Are you okay? Are you okay? So I'm both a leftist, I'm also a SOCDEM, which is another ideology, and I'm also fascist. Amazing. Unbelievable, guys. I didn't know that about myself. Unbelievable. I guess I'm learning new things about myself all the time. The 25-second video has over 20,000 Instagram views. Netizen shares the misleading information on social media sites, including Twitter. Resized version uploaded on May 8th also argues the vaccine has magnetic reactions. I really want to know what they did to make this work. Sorry for confusing you for being left-wing, anti-BLM, ANCAP. Yeah, right? Exactly. Look, you're even owning... This is a cell phone, isn't it? This is a cell phone. I'm all of these things, or none of... is like, this isn't coherent. It's a good thing we have these keyboard warrior heroes helping us understand how dumb we are. If you claim to be ANCAP, I'm happy to claim cell phone. I don't know, you're ascribing all of these labels to me. I have no idea. This is a you problem. What's your opinion on Israel? What do you mean? Come on, show us. Show us, Slice Pan. Come on. What do you mean? Come on, show us. Oh, I'm sorry. He hexed. Oh man, I think this is going over your head, my friend. So, I don't know how to explain this to you, but that's a thing that I was being a little bit sarcastic. Maybe it's something that at one point maybe you'll understand what sarcasm means. But one day you'll understand, or maybe look up the definition of sarcasm. So you agree with me? Yeah, I agree with you. I agree. I agree that I am also... I agree that I am both a leftist, a social democrat, a fascist. What else do you want me to be? Good morning, Chrono Kush. So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm all of these things at the same time. So what else do you want me to be? Go ahead, tell us. Yeah, I'm communist too. Any other labels you want me to wear? I said you're left wing. Okay, so either, and that you're either sock dem or further left, which equals fascist. No, these are two different things. You're ascribing three completely different ideologies. Okay, do you see how unhinged you look when you yep, confirmed. All of these things, I'm all of them. Ooh, is this a buddy from 4chan? This gots to be somebody from 8chan or 4chan. Yikes. No, I know these type of talking points. Yikes. Well, yeah, you're describing a totalitarianism thing, which is another term. Yeah, like words mean things. Yeah, words mean things. Yes. Yes. Do I agree with Israel genocide? I have problems with the actions that the Israeli government and Netanyahu have taken. Yes, I don't agree with the indiscriminate bombings. I don't agree with the leveling of the AP office. I don't agree with some of their decisions. Yeah. Oh shoot, 410 about a Twitch we're done for. Yeah, man the what is it? Man the band cannons, folks. I think that they have an ANCAP, so they probably don't have any other view aside ANCAP versus evil. Yeah. Words also mean things you probably don't want them to mean. I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. So no, I'm not against. So no, I am against totalitarianism. I am pro-democracy. I don't understand how easy. How hard is that? I want people to have freedom, food, housing, education, and healthcare. I don't. So yeah, democracy is right wing. I don't know democracy being right wing. All right. Anywho.
The magnet. This is the arm I got. The sides are shot in.
Oh.
And there it is.
Come closer.
Stick into my arm. That's where I got the shot.
Show what's under her arm.
And here's the magnet on the arm. I didn't get the shot. You go figure it out. We're chipped. We're all fucked.
Yeah, no. They must have had something under here or taped maybe. Libertarian thinkers in the 1700s. What do you think libertarianism means? Do you think it's strictly on the right? What? You think that libertarianism is limited to the right? Are you okay? Means a philosophy of liberty. I'm sure this is slightly above your pay grade. True! Even though I advocate for democracy and freedom, I guess it is above my pay grade. Reminds me of people who stick forks in spoon body and I magnetic people fall for it too. True! Hey, that's a perfect analogy. Watch a cute animal video. In the 17th, have your red rage. Laws, man has always desired natural freedom. Yeah, like, who's advocating, like, to my knowledge here, in this particular channel, who is advocating for, like, less democracy or less freedom, less natural freedom? Like, I don't even know what this means. Since you're left-wing and sock them as anti-democracy and freedom. So, I just think you don't know what these words mean. Because you don't know what sarcasm means. You made ascriptions to what I believe in like these wild from leftism to sockdemism to fascism. You're making these wild random points from jumping from here to here. You don't understand what any of these things means. Yikes. Dude, I think maybe it would behoove you to crack open like a dictionary or something, man. I don't know. Why does yeah, that's kind of why I'm returning the favor. This guy's default response is bad faith. Andy, I don't like what's being said to me, therefore it's bad faith. I don't like the stuff that's being said, so it is bad faith. Cute animal video. Let's do that. We can do that. Maybe? Aww. Yeah, take the vaccine. True. You pretending that your initial set of responses were sarcastic when in fact they were not as bad faith. Wait, are you saying that I wasn't being sarcastic? Wait. First of all, how did you... Oh my god. This person actually doesn't know the word sarcasm. Can't identify... Do I need to hold up a sarcasm sign every time I do it? Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. Hold on, folks. Do I need to hold up a sarcasm sign? I'm so lost. You know what? Maybe it'll help you guys. Maybe it'll help you guys understand if I just like have signs that say sarcasm on me. All they can do is watch disinfo videos on TikToks about magnet vaccines. Yeah, that's true. Very true. That's true. In this entire stream, in this entire 2-hour stream, all we did, guys, is all we did was watch disinfo videos on TikTok. Yeah, that's what we did. Yeah, I think that I'll take the vaccine in 6 months after I send it out on you lab rats. Well, good thing, before I ban you, good thing that we had a bunch of testing done to ease your concerns about such vaccines. But I suggest you listen to the CDC and come back with some actual science. Well, self-governance was actually a thing even beforehand. A lot of our founding documents, or the way we got to the way we are, especially here in America, the US as founding, or part of their foundations, were actually based off the Iroquois. About the level of dialogue expected in a left-wing channel. Pet videos. Damn, those pet videos. Damn, those pet videos and the one article I did because I was talking about the vaccine that I'm intending to get today. But yeah, sure. Okay, but they didn't invent democracy. They didn't invent democracy. So, a lot of the quote-unquote enlightened thinkers and founding fathers took bases from the Iroquois Confederation of the Iroquois. They took examples from that. Nobody here is supporting Hamas. Okay? Like, if this is the best that you guys have, oh boy. Oh, wait, do we have bingo? Do we have bingo? 1984 reference? We've got 1980. We've got all the bingo. We've hit bingo here. Yeah, cool. Links don't work here because people like you messed it up for everybody. Anti-white, are you okay? Are you okay? Where are these people like coming from with these nonsense? Pretty sad. We really shouldn't be arguing with someone like this. Yeah, like it's unhinged, to be quite honest. But it's okay. It's okay. One day they'll sit down and they'll hopefully reconsider the nonsensical positions or nonsensical stuff that's being espoused here. One day, I hope. I mean, it's not gonna be me, that's for sure. It's not gonna be me coming at me in that way. It's just not gonna be conducive to a conversation. But maybe one day they'll reconsider. Quote you guys. You figure in libertarian origins and individualism. Okay. Okay, but you made the claim that democracy was created by the founding fathers, which is just not historically true. And even then, it was taken based off like indigenous like the way the indigenous people did their confederations too. So yeah, you're just wrong on like so many on like historical accounts, like on all historical accounts. It's just not how any of that works. But you know, keep believing the stuff that you do. Just maybe challenge yourself to reconsider that maybe, and it is quite possible that you're wrong. You know, it happens to me all the time. I take L's. I take L's all the time, and that's okay. And it's okay for you to be wrong too. Just reconsider the nonsense that you've been espousing one day, maybe. It's pretty standard for us to go through an angry ANCAP phase. America was the first democracy. I think the chatter is right. Nope. Incorrect. Incorrect. Like, historically incorrect. America was not the first democracy. That is just a wild claim. That's not based on any historical... I mean, there's been democracies in the Celtic... in like the Celtic medieval times, which were based on self-governance. Yeah, there was democratic systems before America. I don't know where this is coming from, other than like this weird ahistorical account. I don't know. Name a democracy before America? Any Celtic tribe? There's indigenous people who... there's indigenous people like the Iroquois who had democratic systems with voting and everything? What? The most ancient democratic body, I think, was called the It. Back in Iceland, actually. Are you okay? This is funny. It. Thing. I'm sorry, it's called the Thing. The Thing. A Thing was a governing assemblance in the Germanic society made up of the free people of the community, presided over by law speakers. In the words appear in Old Norse, Old English, and Modern Icelandic as ping. The Middle English is Modern English, Old Saxon, Old Dutch, Old Frisian as thing, and German as ding. So basically, it was one of the most ancient democratic bodies that existed back in the Scandinavia. And the meeting of such thing the meeting place of a thing was called the Thingstead. Which there was also a body called Folkmoot, which was folk meeting, was the forerunner and precursor to the modern parliament of the United Kingdom. Like, you guys are just embarrassing. Yikes. Yikes. He's going to indoctrinate you soon. I give it 1 month before you're his new liberal ally. Oh man. I think you're giving me way too much credit there, Swish. You okay, buddy? You hanging in there? Yeah, indoctrination means providing the actual historical facts. Alright, folks. Playtime's over. Unfortunately, I do have to get going. I appreciate all of you guys hanging out here. You guys are something else. Thank you guys for all the support. I appreciate all of you guys hanging out here. Thank you, Spread It Forward. As always, we are here Monday through Thursday, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time, doing news and politics. From 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Time. If you enjoy the channel, make sure you hit that follow button, share, subscribe, like, all of the awesome social media stuff, and spread the word that this is the chillest place to be for news and politics. Monday through Thursday and Saturday Catterdays. As always, thank you for the follow, CJ. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Take it easy. You take it easy. Alright, folks. We're gonna head on over to the Majority Report. I feel like we should read them. And I actually have the opportunity to do so. So let's hang out and have a fun time at the Majority Report. As always, please stay safe. Please take care of each other. Love y'all, and I hope to see you guys in the next stream. See ya! Good luck getting your vaccine. I hope so. Thank you, Heat, for hanging out here. Just so that we don't take any trolls with us, we're gonna give them a quick break, you know? Just so that we don't take any trolls with us. It's good stream etiquette that if you're gonna raid somebody, don't take the trolls, right? Have a good day, you have a good day. Alright, hang with us, folks. Alright, folks, we're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yo, I lost the internet. No, it's okay. Look, we had plenty of fun. Alright, Spread It Forward. We had so much fun. And I missed my chances to tell the troll off. It's okay. It's okay. You know what? We had fun doing it. And we're gonna hang out in MR, okay? Trust me. It's fine. These people have nothing better to do. Ironically, though, democracy started. Yeah, I know. We went over all the historical bodies that existed before America. So yeah, no, it was a giant meme. Okay, so either these wonderful folks came from 4chan, which hey, if they came from 4chan or 8chan, that means I'm getting noticed somewhere by someone. In which case, Nice. Nice. And otherwise, maybe these people just have nothing better to do. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Clearly, just from like the stuff that they were saying, it's clear who the raving lunatics, yeah, who the reasonable person is, right? Anyways, folks, thank you guys for watching. Let's hang out, and as always, take care, everybody. I scrolled to my name and finally wasn't paying attention. No, it's nothing to pay attention to. I was just having fun. Today I felt like having fun, okay? Today I felt like having fun. Did we do it? Yes, we did. Thank you guys. See ya.